From e-commerce, new developments and products to gadgets and games, and for everyone interested in the internet and new media. Now on BBC News, all the tech to revolutionise business and personal life. It's Click.
Will robots take our jobs? Will AI outperform humanity? These are two of the questions of our generation, but some experts think that they're the wrong ones, that we should instead be focusing on how better to augment us, what we can do to help us live better, healthier, more fulfilling lives, and leave us to do the bits that are a bit more human. And this attempt to turn us superhuman will come in many forms. Robots.
Wow.
Exoskeletons.
I can't keep up with myself. You're going to have to run.
Brain-computer interfaces.
The day that it connected, it still brings tears.
Even in planning our very existence. In this lab, scientists have one hope: to help people who never thought they'd be able to have a family to do so. Infertility affects 1 in 6 people worldwide. The go-to route for many couples struggling to conceive is in vitro fertilization, or IVF, where egg and sperm are usually combined manually to try to create an embryo. Scientists here at Columbia University Fertility Center are automating parts of that process, though.
What we're doing here at Columbia is developing technologies that could really advance reproductive medicine to give that extra few % chance to every single patient that they could go on to have a successful pregnancy.
Those few % really are the difference between conceiving or not. And considering average sperm count worldwide has halved since the 1970s, it's perhaps little surprise that insufficient sperm can be a substantial cause of infertility. The STAR system aims to address the problem by searching for sperm in semen samples from patients who are thought to have none.
You can do extended search, meaning spending 8-10 hours looking one drop at a time. What this system is doing is automating the whole thing.
It takes over 8 million images an hour using AI to scan the samples. It can pinpoint a single sperm which may have gone undetected in a previous search.
It just takes 1 to 2 hours to go through the whole sample, scans it, and the AI finds if there's a sperm or not.
What are we looking at here on the screen now?
So we're looking at the sample passing through the microfluidic channel. Most of it is debris. If it finds a sperm, it sorts it for the IVF process. And once the run is completed, we take all the sorted sperms on the droplet and hand it over to the embryology lab.
There you're seeing a difference between essentially a 0% chance of having a child to, well over 70, 80, 90% chance. To take a patient who's told, I'm sorry, you'll never be able to have a biologic child, to be able to give them that possibility is tremendous.
Once that precious sperm is captured, it's united with an egg to create an embryo. And that happens here, where eggs are brought after being surgically removed from a prospective mother.
Once the eggs are prepared for fertilization, then they're brought to a very specialized micromanipulation station. In the case of men who have these exceedingly low sperm counts, like the men who have the STAR procedure done, even if there's only 1 or 2 sperm, instead of the usual hundreds of millions of sperm, you can still take that 1 sperm and place it directly into the egg.
That's all it takes.
That's all it takes.
Next, the embryos are placed in the best environment possible to grow successfully. Enter the ART pipetting robot for the IVF laboratory, April for short.
The embryos grow on these specialized plastic dishes, and rather than making that environment by hand, where there is a natural variability, we're using robots which allow us to prepare the plates to be absolutely ideal.
As well as making the IVF process more efficient, it's also hoped that these technologies can bring down the cost, which can run into tens of thousands.
I think what's even much more important than that is by increasing success rates, it's easier for a patient to have that child. So I think there's a great reason to be optimistic and hopeful for our field.
Meanwhile, in this Harvard robotics lab, they're working up ways to live life in the fast lane. I know how unsafe I am on a bicycle or electric scooter, so I'm hoping that I may have found an alternative here, another way to get around quickly. This is a hip exoskeleton, and it uses AI to understand an individual's hip movements, creating a personalised mode of transport.
We apply torque on the hip, so can you fasten this by yourself?
This is obviously at prototype stage because there's lots of wires and things.
That's right.
So I guess it will be turned into something waterproof. OK, you definitely wouldn't want to try and wear this through an airport, would you? I'm actually feeling really comfortable here. What is this? The emergency red button if I need to stop?
Yeah.
OK, so if I feel like I'm going too fast, press the red button.
Yes, that's right.
Before it's turned on, I'm going to have a little walk to see what it feels like. The weight is quite evenly spread throughout my body, so I don't feel like I'm carrying a load of weight. And it feels all right. I'm kind of getting used to it, but I'd really like to go a bit faster. I can't keep up with myself. And stop. Much like other exoskeletons that I've tried, when you first get moving, it kind of makes you jump, but you get used to it really quickly. There's these weird kind of twinges that I feel from it, but it's certainly forcing my muscles to do their job, and it made me go faster. Would I want to travel around town like this? Well, maybe eventually, once it's more compact and it could fit underneath clothes, it could become a concealed method of travel. I just looked like I was walking very, very fast. Oh, I'm in a real hurry. I don't know where I'm going round in circles.
I think you'll see, robotic boots that help give you an extra push in your step. You'll see hip exoskeletons that you can wear under your clothes. There's some commercial devices now that are coming out for hiking.
With the ability to personalise how it assists the hip joints, it could prove really beneficial for those with mobility disorders.
We've looked at assisting a wide range of movements, so everything from, walking over ground, different speeds, up and down stairs, up and down ramps. And so there's different ways, especially using sort of data-driven methods, to capture all of your movement and really assist you in a meaningful and helpful way.
And this is where the AI catching up with the robotics is finally able to help.
Yes, so everybody's quite different. You and I have a different musculoskeletal system, and so we need a different assistance. We use AI in this to understand movement and make predictions about what people are doing. And I would say that personalization aspect has effectively doubled the performance in these devices. There's many benefits outside of just being physically capable, right? You can be more social, you can do the things you want to do, be more independent, and that's, sort of what we're really excited about.
It's great if you're in a hurry.
Meet Avocado's best-selling green mattress. Made with certified organic cotton, wool, and latex, plus ergonomic coils to support your body's natural curves for cool and restorative sleep. Featuring a 1-year in-home sleep trial. Complete your bed with organic pillows and bedding. Shop today at avocadomattress.com, proud supporter of 1% for the planet.
Double check that. That's pretty good. Yeesh. Not crying, are you? Let's tighten that and... Ooh.
Wait, what was that?
What? No, don't worry about that. Here we go.
Asking the right question can greatly impact your future.
Are you qualified to do this?
What?
Especially when it comes to your finances.
Do you have a question?
Are you a certified financial planner?
Yes, I'm a CFP professional.
CFP professionals are committed to acting in your best interest. That's why it's gotta be a CFP. Find your CFP professional at letsmakeaplan.org.
It's not just about technology powering our bodies from the outside either. There are also brain-computer interfaces, or BCIs. These are small devices embedded in a wearer's brain that allow them to communicate directly with a smartphone or any other type of computer through thought alone. At 22, Noland Arbour's life dramatically changed when he was paralysed from the shoulders down in a swimming accident.
You just have sort of no control, no privacy, and it's hard. And you just have to learn that you have to rely on other people for everything.
7 years later, some independence was set to come his way. In January 2024, he became the first patient to have a BCI from Elon Musk's company Neuralink implanted. The device was embedded beneath his skull by a surgical robot.
I knew that if everything worked out, then I could help being a participant of Neuralink. If something terrible had happened, I knew that they would learn from it.
How was it the first time when you actually tried to do something?
I just imagined the sensation or what it might look like to wiggle my fingers, something along those lines, and I could get the cursor to move. And then it all sort of sunk in that this was a very, very sci-fi technology, but it was real. Now I could actually control my computer with just my thoughts, and I was giddy for the whole day.
You see the cursor moving around the screen? That's all me, y'all. It's pretty cool, huh?
And several companies are hoping to transform patients' lives this way. Mark has ALS, a progressive neurodegenerative disease that affects nerve cells in the brain and spinal cord, causing him to slowly lose the ability to move his body.
I can still talk, I can still walk, but can't use my arms at this point. The biggest challenge that I've faced is the loss of independence. Had to quit work, had to quit driving, not able to really effectively, with the loss of my arms, use a computer. I had to sell my home. This disease is going to kill me. What's happening to my body is, I don't wish on my worst enemy.
But through Synchron's BCI, known as a stentrode, he can communicate with his computer again, not with his hands, but with his mind.
The device is sitting in the motor region of the brain, which is at the top of the head. It's picking up when someone's thinking about like tapping their finger or not tapping their finger. And by being able to pick up those differences, it can create what we call a digital motor output. And that's what's being used with a computer directly to click on things.
Its fitting is less invasive than the brain surgery required for some other BCIs.
It goes in the jugular vein, so we make a small incision in the neck and we track our catheters up through there.
At Synchron's HQ, I'm shown the basics of the procedure.
You can start to see the stent just kind of peek through. You'll start to see it expand more.
What's incredible to think is that that little bit of mesh can do the job it can. How is that possible?
Due to kind of advances in thin film technology, so that has allowed us to use nitinol, which is a shape memory material. So there's actually kind of electrical circuitry that's essentially printed onto the surface of that nitinol that allows us to capture the signal from that region of the brain and transfer that down through the lead into essentially a pacemaker type device that gets the neural signal out.
Mark was one of the very first people to have it done.
The day that it connected, it still brings tears.
Now he's able to control devices just by using his thoughts, but it did take a while to get there.
It wasn't immediate, I can have a thought and it translate to clicks on a computer. You have to train yourself. I still had a little bit of movement in my arm, my hand, and so each task we have tried to train using that motor movement. So, you know, the translation to a click on a computer could be squeeze my right hand. It elicits the response in my brain that says to the stentrode, okay, we got the signal, and it'll click
Mark is playing an instrumental role in developing how the system can be used. In twice-weekly sessions, he's discovering more and more about what he can do with it.
It's allowed me to be able to text or, play games. I'm the first person in the world to connect with Apple's Vision Pro using this device. I can't even tell you how that feels. I can't go on vacation, so I thought, well, what if we found an app that could simulate, a small trip to the beach or whatever, and we were able to do that. So we found an app that we can do that with. So I've visited, Australia, I've visited New Zealand.
Wherever someone may be in the real world, it will be a while before this is more widely available, though. It's currently implanted in just 10 people in the US and Australia.
We're still working on improving it. I think at a fairly basic level, we can get good accuracy and good usability, but we have a road to learn.
And when it comes to Neuralink, for Nolan, his hasn't always been working perfectly. Months after having the device implanted, he experienced some of the electrodes losing connection with his brain.
I wasn't able to really use my computer at all, and that was really upsetting. I didn't know if I would be able to use the Neuralink ever again, but a couple weeks later, they just switched how they were registering my neuron spikes in the software, and I got all control back. It's helping me find work. It's helping me hopefully go back to school. It's given me the chance to live a fulfilling life that I just wasn't living before.
I can see down the road in the future a world where this technology could really, really make a difference for someone that has this or any paralysis disease.
For Mark and Nolan, these devices have been absolutely transformative. They will gain wider use though. Elon Musk thinks that we may even all have them one day so that we can be supercharged by AI. But with direct access to our brains, we do need to make sure that the technology is used sensibly.
One of the main problems is privacy. So if we are exporting our brain activity, then we are kind of allowing access to not just what we do, but potentially what we think, what we believe, and what we feel. Once you've got access to stuff inside your head, there really is no other barrier to personal privacy left. Worst case scenario, you might get this kind of cognitive overclass that has access to ways of thinking that are just not available to other people. If you can directly write brain activity patterns inside somebody's head, then we have to worry about, well, who's doing the writing and what is their agenda? How do I know the thoughts that I think are truly my own if they could have been implanted by some company which might have some motivation for me thinking one thing rather than another? The ethical response, I think it just needs the kind of proactive discussion so that we maximize the upsides, minimize the downsides, and don't stifle the innovation that really will help a lot of people.
To create the technology that will serve us all best, we need to grasp the problems. And amidst MIT's cutting-edge innovation and robotics sits its Age Lab, a place where we can better understand the challenges that come later in life. Agnes is an aging suit, demonstrating how it might feel to be in your late 70s or 80s. Wearable weights simulating muscle loss, bungee cords for spine compression, doctored Crocs for uneven balance.
Okay, so I'm going to fall over backwards.
A neck brace for stiffness, all topped off with a pair of goggles to replicate having cataracts.
These are vision impairment goggles.
Even just lifting them up to get them off. It's not the goggles are heavy, my arms are. Oh.
Welcome to older age. Everything is feeling like hard work. It's going to be a bit of a struggle to get used to this. I'm also disorientated from not really being able to see very well. I just want to sit down.
I need a cup of tea and a sofa.
Getting there may be a bit tricky though.
I feel like I'm shuffling along, my shoulders ache a bit, everything just feels a bit heavy. The idea here is to create the empathy and understanding for how life is when you reach this age, so that things can be better designed. Now, I'm going to sit down on the sofa. Okay, that's all right, that's not too bad. And I'm going to pick up my drink. Even just picking up a mug feels harder work. My hands, my arms feel heavier. What do I want to take off first? Well, the hands.
This suit may not be new, but it can continue to drive better innovation. Just across the campus comes a lab aiming to create solutions for age-old and old-age problems.
Wow.
Here at MIT sail the boat and old-age problems.
Wow.
Here at MIT sail the bots are getting house-trained to become more versatile and ready for some chores.
I'm glad it's a strain. Don't you come walking towards me like that.
Most of the humanoids I've ever encountered have been stood still, but this one seems to be making a beeline for me.
It looks quite menacing. I felt like it was heading towards me, going to punch me. Seems angry.
In 2015, there was a grand challenge where robots are supposed to do very simple things. You know, like climbing upstairs, walking, getting inside a car, you know, opening a door. Yet, robots failed terribly, and they kept on falling. There's a new way of programming robots that we have today, where we don't tell the robots how to perform things, but they learn by doing their own practice.
And this could dramatically reduce the time it takes to program them so they can get on with becoming useful, which could include helping an ageing population.
Do you believe that that being in a humanoid form is the right way? Because that is actually something that is debated.
Definitely. I think the very important thing is the hand, which is doing a lot of the manipulation work. For many use cases, you could have something on wheels with hands which can do things. But what if you have to get, you know, under the table? Or, you know, pick up a piece of, you know, crockery. The way this system is trained, it is collecting data, where it is trying out, you know, how its arm should move and how the leg should move. And it will try many, many, many times before it learns how to walk. So think about how you train a dog. If the dog fetches a ball, you might reward it. If the dog does not fetch a ball, you may not reward it.
How do you reward a robot?
If the robot is walking, we say it's good. If the robot falls down, we say it's bad.
It sounds a lot easier than a child. Once it's taught itself to walk, what else will it do?
We wanted to do pretty much anything a human can do with their hands, with their legs, where you can say, hey, robot, cook me food, you know, wash my dishes, you know, do my laundry, or, you know, even beyond the household.
Okay, so this problem of no hands that's going on, you've actually got a solution here for that as well, haven't you?
Oh, definitely, yeah. Let me walk you to the hand solutions we have. What we have over here is an exoskeleton. Imagine in the future, people in factories could be wearing these gloves, so as to say, they're doing things, and then we can collect that data to train the software, which can then start doing many, many different things.
These hand exoskeletons are also learning from human behaviour, with sensors in them so that they can feel too. What is crucial in all of the work in this lab, though, is the collection of that data to truly grasp how us humans do things.
And that may help create the bots to help us. And this is just the beginning. IVF robots, BCIs, AI exoskeletons. It's early days for all of these technologies in the forms that we've just seen. But the possibilities for the future are enormous.
And there's more from the Click team at bbc.com/click.
Hooray, hooray!
Lumi launched a spray. I'm Dr. Shannon Klingman, the OBGYN that created Lumi. And this spray will once again change the deodorant game. Unlike other spray deodorants made with mostly alcohol, Lumi's water-based, empowered by mandelic acid. It's so gentle that during clinical testing, not one woman experienced burning or irritation on pits, feet, or privates. Plus, it's quick drying. Way to go, Lumi! Clinically proven to control odor for 72 hours. Spray it up, down, all around. The truly touchless way to Lumi. For the best deals, go to lumideo.com.
Hello. An area of high pressure should bring some fine and sunny weather to the Great Lakes down towards eastern and southeastern portions of the United States. But this area of low pressure, well, that's going to be bringing some wintry weather into parts of Ontario, into Wisconsin and Minnesota, where we could see around 10 to 15 centimetres of snow. So a reminder that winter hasn't quite finished with us just yet. Further southwards into the Mississippi Valley, there is the threat of a few severe thunderstorms on Sunday, the main threat being some damaging gusts of wind and some large hail. We have another area of low pressure working into the Pacific Northwest, bringing another bout of rain into British Columbia with some snow over the mountains above 1,000 metres elevation. South of that into California, Nevada, we're looking at some warm sunshine. Las Vegas seeing a top temperature of 81 Fahrenheit for Sunday afternoon. Now over the next few days it's set to get warmer in Los Angeles with temperatures pushing into the mid-80s Fahrenheit, but we've got more rain to come in Seattle over the next couple of days. Well, there's the risk of snowfall extending across Wisconsin, Minnesota into portions of Ontario. Could bring some localised disruption. Eastern areas of the United States seeing some pleasant spells of sunshine, and it's relatively warm into Florida. Temperatures up to 83 Fahrenheit in Orlando. The outlook over the next few days in Baltimore, fine and sunny on Sunday, but an increasing threat of some rain for Monday.
Follow every slam dunk from the NBA on the BBC Sport website and app. To keep up to date with the latest basketball results, fixtures and tables, go online or download the app now.
I kind of didn't really get why people were so freaked out by what I was doing, but I also liked it. I understood even then it was just clothes. It's just makeup and clothes. Why do you care?
Ritual and living tradition are really significant here in Bulgaria, and that's important because we don't need all of this, but somehow it matters.
Subtitles have become something that is not a barrier, and I think that to me has been such an amazing gift. Even when I was writing it, it wasn't clear if people would want to watch a movie that is properly bilingual.
People think, you play music, they dance. That's not true. You see people, their movement, how they dance. You respond to that.
We underestimate our need to be in spaces where we celebrate life. And it's so important that working class kids can get access to that.
Inspiring arts and culture on BBC News.
Live from London, this is BBC News. Hundreds have been arrested during a fourth day of intense protests across Turkey after Istanbul's mayor, a key opponent to President Erdogan, was detained on terrorism and corruption charges. This is the scene live at the courthouse in Istanbul this morning. It's expected to rule on the mayor's detention in the coming hour. And Pope Francis will be discharged from hospital later today after 5 weeks of treatment for pneumonia. And a senior Hamas figure has been killed by an Israeli airstrike in southern Gaza. The group has said Israel is yet to comment on the strike. Hello, welcome. I'm Tanya Beckett. Prosecutors in Turkey